Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Here we are, epic people. It's 8 p.m. in Dubai. We are broadcasting live. So first, I want to know what are you guys connecting from? Feel free to drop it in the chat. And let's make a start, okay? I don't want to waste not even a second. So thank you so much for joining today and welcome to the Fog of Masterclass. In this masterclass, you will be able to empower your team to lead so you can scale without constantly putting out fires, okay? We're going to go right into it and we are going to spend the next 45 minutes together. This is very intensive, okay? So be ready to take screenshots. I will give you homework. I am not just talking about leadership. I want you to do, okay? This is very hands-on and experience driven. So please make sure to take screenshots and you will do some homework after the masterclass. If you can hear me well, yeah, there are people from Spain. There are people from Kuwait. Wow, welcome, Ayman. Hello, nice to have you here. So let's get to it. Uh, before actually going to the masterclass, what I will do, of course, is introduce myself. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Estefania Badra, but everybody calls me Epi since I'm 4 years old and my sister started talking. I have done so many things in my life. This is a little bit of a summary that I'm going to do now. So I lived in different continents. I traveled the world, but I lived in Australia, in Sydney. I lived in Barcelona, Spain. I lived for a year as well in Noida, in India, for my beautiful people in India. And now I live here in Dubai. It's been 1 year and 2 months. I started my first company when I was 18 years old. It was an event producer, so I was leading creative teams, and that grew very organically from 20 people in a basement to 500 people in iconic, unique places. And then at the same time, I was doing my degree in law and to actually pursue my dream at that time, that was being a real estate lawyer. But what happened when I got there after 7 years, I felt so bored. It was so boring. I hated it. So I said, no, I'll switch. There needs to be something that I love doing, and my passion and my talents go around people, culture, ideas, bringing ideas to life, fostering talents, this intrinsic motivation that I always speak about. So I jumped to Barcelona. I moved to Barcelona. My first job was leading street sales. And if you guys have led sales on the street, then you know how difficult that is. Okay, this is where I learned a lot about mental fitness. That led me to another position. So then I jumped into the events industry and I was actually in charge of doing the staffing for big brands as Facebook, Mercedes-Benz, Tech Mahindra, Myers, many, many other brands in the Mobile World Congress and in some other exhibitions in Barcelona. So at that point in my life, I said, okay, I have the experience in the professional sector. I have the experience starting up my own company and leading creative teams. I have experience as well in working in staffing for big corporations as part of as an HR agency that I was working for. Now I want to learn from the inside how a big corporation works. And I jump into the corporate world. I went into supply and merchandising in marketing execution. And I grew a lot over these years that I worked in this company. And I led teams in Barcelona, in India. This is where my India phase starts. And until the company goes through an internal restructuring and we move all the operations from Barcelona to India. So this taught me a lot about managing people in times of crisis. Okay, when there is like a huge change, how do you manage people and how do you keep teams motivated, right? Because as a leader, you are responsible for getting the results from your team. So now I live in Dubai. I have my own agency in leadership and communication. So I help business owners and emerging leaders to lead confidently from their unique type, from their unique leadership type. And I also organize global events with an amazing team of individuals. So this is me in a nutshell. And I helped dozens of business owners and managers around the world to lead with clarity and communicate effectively. And I am here now. Okay, I received a few recognitions from the Rotary Club, the Rotaract. Actually, I was doing today a team building activity for the youth division for the future leaders of the Rotary Club. But it wasn't always like this. Okay, and here it's when the low moment comes. Okay, when I had my first position in the corporation. Okay, leading more than 20 people in a corporate environment that then this grew into leading more than 100 people in India. There was a time that I had a lot of struggles related to my position, to my leadership position. And in here, guys, I wanted to capture something that you also populated in the survey. So thank you so much as well for leaving me in there your responses, because this helps me out to actually give you tailored examples, okay, about the situation where you might be right now. And I was there as well. So I was really struggling to first delegate. I have we are going to touch base on the different personalities, but in my personalities, I like to have everything under control. Okay, I'm very process driven and results. So delegate without losing quality, but also delegating without micromanaging. Okay, this is also a challenge, and you name it in the forms. Then another thing that was a major shift in my mindset was um, starting to lead, not only doing, because probably if you have just been promoted, you are really good at what you do. But in your leadership position, you sometimes you can't do it, but you shouldn't. Okay. So this was for me a really big mindset shift. Then another challenge was that I was leading former colleagues, so friendships and different roles and hierarchies. That was clashing a little bit. Sometimes I felt frustrated and overwhelmed, and I was transferring my stress to my team. Okay, so we're going to talk about buffering the pressure. Then, how to prioritize and say no to distractions, because there are always going to be a million things to do. Okay, but how can you keep yourself focused, and how can you help your team to stay focused? So I was, of course, still making all of the decision, but I was questioning if I was actually moving people forward. Sometimes you don't know. Okay, you make a lot of decisions, you think that this is the right thing for your team, but you question yourself. I was questioning myself. Am I really moving people forward? Okay. So what have I done? Okay, over 15 years of working with different types of individuals in different cultures, in different settings, in different industries. Um, the most important thing is that I learned about my unique leadership style. Okay, my strengths, my improvement areas, how to cover this with gaps with people, how to tackle these challenges that I was facing. Of course, I learned how to master delegation. Okay, and set expectations comes with this as well. We will touch base on it in a moment. I became the role model. So, how do I want my team to behave? Okay, so how do I show up? Then, of course, I learned how to maintain healthy relationships with authority. Okay, and this is a challenging one as well. You name it in the forms. I shifted my leadership mindset from doer to leader. And guys, if you are on the other side of the screen, this is a very important one. Okay, very important one. Changing your mindset. Even if you can't do it, you shouldn't. We are going to touch base on this in a moment. Then ask more and assume less. More questions, incorporating more questions. Okay, this is a coaching type of leadership. Incorporating more questions make less assumptions. And then, of course, I always say this seems very obvious, but it's not. Don't take it personal. Nothing. Okay? Anything. So I see that you are here in the chat. Can you drop me a chat if we are doing good? Yeah, good. Drop epic if you're on the other side. Drop epic and let's move forward. So guys, long story short, I'm not going to bore you, I don't want to be boring you with this, but this not only helped me out, but also more than 500 leaders all around the globe. You have all of my reviews in LinkedIn, in my website. I mean, all social media, okay? Some of you know me, some others don't, but please type my name and you will get all of the reviews. So, all of the reviews. So, we have business owners, CFOs, COOs, HR managers. This helped more than 500 leaders worldwide. So, let's go right to it, right? What are you going to learn today? We're going to see three things. The first one is smart delegation, okay? How to let go without losing control. And I know that you're on the other side. This might have been an issue because most of you drop it in the survey. So we're going to touch base on this and understand why jumping in to fix things for yourself doesn't work. Okay? You need to stop doing the things that your team should be doing. Stop. I know this is difficult, but you need to do it. So, how to let go without losing control? Then we are going to touch base on leadership boundaries. Boundaries. Type boundaries if you're following in the chat. Type boundaries. So, how to set limits that actually boost performance? How can you create autonomy and high performance without becoming the bad guy or the bad girl? Okay, how to set boundaries, very important. And then on the third one, yes, I see boundaries in there in the chat. Amazing. Amazing that you're following, guys. So the third one is going to be on effective feedback, how to turn difficult conversations into growth. And in here, we're going to see one specific technique. It's a specific framework that I train my leaders, which is the FIE framework. Because remember, feedback is not to criticize. Feedback should transform. That's the goal. Okay. So we're going to see how to how to communicate effectively, especially harsh feedback. So let's go to the first one. Sip of mate in the middle, of course. So, smart delegation. Let's go to it. Why jumping into fix things for yourself doesn't work? If you control your schedule, okay, you can manage teams effectively. So, think about this, okay? In here, I will make you think a little bit. If you fix things for your team, then you are not allowing them to be resourceful. Okay? And you are leading people. They have the ability to think. The problem is that if you step up in the middle, if you interrupt this process, they will never learn. They will always rely on you because think about this. Why would I spend my brain calories into thinking about the solution if I know that my manager is going to sort it out for me, right? It doesn't make sense. So you are actually creating a problem for the future, for yourself and for your people. You're telling them that you don't rely on them, that you don't trust them, and you're also giving their brains the idea that you are going to be there fixing their issues forever, every time. And this doesn't work. You are just your bottleneck. You are generating more issues for the future. So, why it doesn't work? Because you become the bottleneck, you have more pressure, you feel overwhelmed, you feel very frustrated because most of the managers, like I deal with this every day, they tell me like, I don't understand why my people, like why they are not doing their tasks. They are not leading, they are not thinking. Well, maybe you are the bottleneck. Okay, especially with business owners, they come to me saying like, I want to cry. I want to cry because I don't know how to embrace this autonomy in them, how to make them think. Well, maybe you didn't give them the space, like real space. And we're going to touch base on delegation so you can fix this issue as well. But you become the bottleneck, you feel pressure, you feel overwhelmed, and you are frustrated. Not only that, but you push too hard on people, and this causes tension, resentment, and frustration as well from their side because they also think that you don't trust them. So, how do we fix this? Well, there is a way to multiply your time. And this is, well, do you know that you can multiply your time? Drop yes or no in the chat. Drop yes or no. I think that you are adding in here comments. Thank you so much. I will get back to your questions at the end of the masterclass, okay? So thank you so much for the person that just dropped a question. I will get back at the end. So drop a yes if you know that you can multiply your time, or no. Are you curious about this? Okay, let's jump into it. So yes, absolutely. Okay, very good, Ayman. You know that you can multiply your time. Yes, if you learn about smart delegation. Okay, this is what we are going to see now. And for this, you need to know two things: the how and the what. Okay, how means when you're going to delegate, there should be a baseline. The how is the structure, the outcome, the knowledge, and the contact point. I'm going through this in a moment. And the what is the Eisenhower matrix. This is why we use the Eisenhower matrix. Let's go to the how. The how is the baseline. Okay, there are two components when delegating. Delegating how, which is you define the structure and the clear outcome, meaning what's the expected result? What do you want this person to deliver? Okay, what's the clear outcome? And it's very important that both expectations are aligned. Okay, this is a both ways kind of thing. The outcome, I express my expectations, okay, and I cross check that we are aligned on that. The expectations, the outcome is the most important thing, okay, because there are many ways that something can be done. Okay, you want to align expectations and then let people do their thing. Then, of course, you as a leader, you make sure that there is enough knowledge transfer. That if you should train your people or any specific quality, or there is something in a specific that they should know, then you are responsible for knowledge transfer. This is very important. And then third, and I say this, that sometimes it's quite obvious, but if you don't say it, people don't read your mind. Okay, we are not mind readers. Well, of course, at least I'm not a mind reader. You need to inform this person that you're not going to be doing the tasks and that you're only there as a contact point for escalations or for real issues. Okay, you're okay with the how? Drop a yes in the chat, please, and I will go through it again super briefly. So the how, three things: clear outcome, expectations, very clear both ways. Make sure there is enough knowledge transfer, meaning that the person is actually capable of doing that. And third, you need to communicate, inform that you're only there as a contact point for supervision. Yes? No, I have a no. Christian, please, can you drop me a question? I'll come back to it. Okay, so Christian, please drop me your question and I will go to the what. So the what, okay? Delegation. How, what? Now we are here in the what. So what can you delegate? And let's move into the specific. There are two type of tasks. The first one, that it's only you tasks. And the second one, which is there are tasks that can and must be done by your team. Delegate. And this is why the Eisenhower matrix exists. Let me introduce you to it. Have you ever seen the Eisenhower matrix? Drop me a yes. Drop me a yes in the chat if you had. Okay, drop me a no if you don't have any clue of what this is. But this is very useful. And guys, I use it every day. Even in my agenda, like I open my daily agenda to start working, I prioritize the tasks based on this. Okay, so the Eisenhower matrix, I see that one of you knows the Eisenhower matrix. Amazing. The infamous matrix. Okay, so the matrix is so useful. It categorizes tasks based on two parameters, importance and urgence. Okay, and urgence. So if the task is important and urgent, here in this quadrant, in the green one, then you should do it. Important and urgent. If the task is important but not urgent, this is the thing that you should delegate. Okay, let's follow me, and then we are going to arrange this in a to-do list. Then if the task is not important, but urgent, sorry, I said something wrong. Oh my gosh. Let's go back again. I'm so sorry, guys. So again, Eisenhower matrix has two parameters, importance and urgency. So importance, if the task is important and urgent, you should do it, okay? If the task is important but not urgent, then you should schedule in your calendar. Why? Because it's important to do, but it's not urgent. It doesn't need to be done now, to get done now, to get finished now. So you can schedule it in your calendar so you clear your mind. Whereas if the task is not important and urgent, this is where you should delegate it, because for you, it's not important, okay? But it needs to be done, but it's not important for you. So you should delegate these tasks. This is the quadrant that you delegate when it's not important, but urgent. And then the tasks that are not important and not urgent, these are the ones that you should delete or eliminate. Or I had a team member that she created a folder named things that are coming back. Okay. She knew that in the future, this will get back. But the rule says that you should be able to delete or eliminate these tasks. Now, Epi, yeah, really good. The Eisenhower matrix is fine, but how do I translate it into my daily tasks? Well, actually, this is how you do it. In your to-do list, you start by delegating, okay? Delegating. Which ones do you delegate? The ones that are not important, but urgent, okay? So you start by delegating the tasks. Then you schedule the ones that are important but not urgent. You set a time, you clear your mind, you clear your brain, you give a little bit of space to breathe. Then you do your thing, because while you are doing, then others are as well doing. This is why you delegate first. And then the fourth is deleting, okay? Tasks that are not urgent, not important, they don't need from your time, okay? There is another way to categorize this, which is I will do it myself and my team will do it. You can also use this chart if you are more visual in like a table. You can also use it. So, for example, management meetings and strategic decisions, you can't delegate that. You do it yourself. But campaign follow up or metrics report, my team will do it. So find your own way to categorize these tasks for the things that you should do and for the things that your team should do. And now be ready to take a screenshot. Okay, I will go through it really, really fast. So this is a quick exercise on smart delegation. Take a screenshot. And applying the Eisenhower matrix, I want to write down two non-transferable tasks, okay? Things that you should do yourself, and then write down two tasks to transfer to the team by tomorrow, because tomorrow is Monday, so you will do it on Monday. Remember that they need to have clarity on the outcome, knowledge, and also make it clear that you are only the contact point, okay? Take a screenshot. I want you to do it tomorrow. If you have any questions, reach out to me. So, an epic leader shines through the team. Because remember that as a leader, you're not doing the task, your team is doing things, okay? You can't support, but you are a great leader if your team is great, if your team is performing. That's your success, not doing, okay? So, why smart delegation works? Because it creates a structure. Okay, everybody knows what belongs to them. It also builds trust because people feel the ownership and accountability. And I promise, if you give people space, they perform if they know how to do it, if they have the resources. It frees, of course, mental space because you can focus on strategy and not tasks. And it accelerates growth because decisions happen faster and with more clarity. Okay, if you set the expectations, if you let people do their thing, then they will be able to make decisions. Okay, but if you don't set clear expectations, they always count on you. This is how you feel when you start applying smart delegation. Okay, there is more ownership and accountability, there is more structure and trust, there is as well peace of mind, and frees up your calendar to accelerate growth. So now we are going to the second pillar. I'm in one of these booths and it's so warm in here, really, guys, and I'm drinking mate, which is already hot. So so far so good, because now we are going to the boundaries one. So far so good. I know I'm going like super fast, but I really want to give you value. Okay, so take as many screenshots as you need. So let's go to the other one. Yes, I'm learning now. Yes, amazing. Love it, love it, love it. So, boundaries. When we talk about boundaries, I like to rewind a little bit and talk about personalities. Okay. And this is not to box anybody in any personality. No, we are human beings. We are a mosaic of experiences, knowledge, many, many things that come into the picture. But I like to actually sense check, like, how can I adapt to different personality traits, and we all have one, okay, that is more predominant. While I'm going through it, you will identify with one or two, mostly one or two of them, and this will help me to introduce the boundaries thing. So there are, according to the DISC profile assessment, there are 4 types of personalities. This is just one way, okay, one resource of analyzing this. But according to this personality assessment, there are 4 types of personalities: the red, the yellow, the green, and the blue. So the red is more dominant. These are direct, fast. For example, I have a little bit of a red and a little bit of yellow. So red are more dominant, direct. The challenges is that we are a little bit impatient and we can sound a little bit abrupt. It's not because we are abrupt, but this is how we communicate, okay? Um, And also, as they want, like they want to go straight to the point, something very useful is using the mechanism that we're going to see in communication, which is the fact, impact, expectation. Okay, this is a way to objectivize the message. And another hint for the red ones is that we are very decisive. But before making actually like a clear decision, let's include our team. Let's include our people. Okay, let's create this sense of inclusion. And that's one of the advices. And also, the red profile is the one who tends to micromanage. Okay, in general notes, we tend to micromanage because we want everything to be perfect. We are very high achievers. So there are systems to tackle this. Then the yellow one. The yellow one is more influential, like it's very enthusiastic, very creative. But the problem with yellow is the influential one is that we can have a really scattered focus because we open so many things, we love ideas, we open everything, but then we don't close many of them. So the mechanism for the yellow ones is you use checklists with clear deadlines. And then, well, in reporting, you can limit yourself to 3 key points. But something as well that I do a lot is I have a folder named, like literally named, not now. Okay, so in my Notion board, I have a list that is called not now. I mean, it doesn't mean that I won't do it. So I calm my nervous system, but it means that I won't do it now because it's not part of my priorities. Okay, based on the Eisenhower matrix that you should use on your daily basis. Then the green one, it's more stable. These profiles are very supportive, very empathetic. They avoid conflict at all costs. These are great profiles for anything that has to do with people because they are very empathetic. Okay, but the problem is that they have more difficulty setting boundaries. Okay, because they say yes very often. They want to help, they want to support, they don't want to see people suffering. Okay, so they have this tendency to be more empathetic and more like close to people, and they have problems like detaching with from people problems. Okay, or saying no. So one of the mechanisms is like learn how to communicate boundaries without feeling bad about it. Okay, or use like communication techniques so you can actually like flip the situation and not taking in your shoulders the responsibility. One phrase that can be useful for you guys is use it with your team. What do you propose to resolve this? Okay, leave the other person to give you ideas and take ownership. You don't have to sort it out for yourself. Don't do it. Okay. Then, yeah, I see your comments. Thank you so much. We are all engaged. And delegate clearly. Very important. This is yours. I will supervise by Friday. Okay, delegating boundaries, very important for green profiles. Then we have the blue one. The blue one is the more cautious, and this profile is very analytical and factual. They need data. They are really focused on metrics and data. The problem in here is that sometimes they need excessive detail, and the decision making can get a little bit slower because they are just so focused on getting all of the data and the information behind this that sometimes they delay decisions. So one technique is define beforehand when are you going to when it's good enough, when are you going to stop collecting data, what's the parameter that is going to let you know that it's already okay, that you can move forward. Okay, set this beforehand to avoid going into too many details. And one of the typical traits is paralysis by analysis. Okay, paralysis by analysis. This is very common. So have you identified with any of these profiles? If yes, please drop red, yellow, green, blue, some of them balanced. Okay, there are so many combinations. I start with these all of my training sessions. Okay, so while you drop your color in the chat, let's go to the real thing, which is how can you create autonomy and high performer teams without becoming the bad guy or the bad girl. And there are three types of boundaries. Uh, Three types of boundaries. But first, there is another question that I will reply to at the end of the session. So thank you so much. You can drop all of your questions in there, then I will go through them. So there are three types of boundaries: personal and professional, okay? Personal and professional, related to the job position, okay? Your role, what's your job description, and then the leader as a buffer. Okay, so I like to explain all of this with a graphic example. Okay, which is, I always bring this, is the control tower. I love the control tower. Think about this. You are in a leadership position. You are the guy who is sitting up there. Okay, I want you to think about this. Is it true? Is it true that the guy sitting in there is not selling airplane tickets? Right? Yes? Yes or no? No. Why? Because if he's not covering his position, then all of the planes will crash. Okay? And we're going to have a catastrophe. So he is in his position. What's this guy position? Or this girl or this lady position? It's to oversee, okay, the whole uh, panoramic of the flights, taking off, landing, okay? He or she makes sure that everything runs smoothly. But this person is not piloting the plane. This person is not selling airplane tickets. If this person has a personal problem with one of the pilots, then he cannot transfer this to his or her position. Okay? The same as, remember that we mentioned three types of boundaries, one of them being the leader as a buffer. If one of the plane crashes, then this person over there cannot transfer the pressure to all of the rest of the pilots, right? So every time you need to make a decision or you are in this one of these moments like, ooh, what should I do? Think about yourself up there. You are the person in the control tower. So the leader has a strategic vision, sets expectations, and guides others, supporting them along the way. Sets expectations. Both ways, expectations and boundaries allow people to work autonomously and engage teams. Very important. Sometimes you listen to your team, the expectations are not the same as you were thinking for the position. Well, maybe this person is not for the position. Okay? Not every position is for every person. Not every person is for every position. No. So, failing to set boundaries can bring consequences. And I have two real examples. Of course, I'm not showing the real names and the real pictures, okay? But these are real examples. So Fabian was like green and blue in this profile. He was very empathetic, supportive, and people-oriented, but he had trouble, as we said, setting boundaries, okay? There were no boundaries at all. And what happened? That as he was struggling to set them, one of the team members asked for a specific remote work from another country. He said yes. Then they had different issues down the line, not only with the team members, but also with legal regulations, because this person felt guilty to say no. Okay, so this can bring consequences. Not saying no can bring consequences in your team, in the company, in also legal regulations, and every move you do in your company costs money. So take it seriously. Then, Lina. Lina was yellow and red in the disc profile. She was very inspiring, natural leader, but she had this tendency of micromanage. And she had this risk of sounding harsh. So she didn't know how to communicate because she said, hey, you know what? Every time I communicate this, my team doesn't take it like really, it doesn't take it well. So I prefer not to say anything. Okay, she didn't put boundaries because she didn't know how to say it well. And because of that, the person that was working in her team didn't post a campaign, and the company lost $8,000 the same afternoon. Next day, they had to fire one person. So set boundaries. If not, there are consequences. And take a screenshot now. This is a quick exercise. You will reflect about the past week. Take a screenshot where you can clarify. Can you clarify expectations for your team? Write down where you need to set more boundaries, and write down exactly in which situation or person you will apply it. Okay, take a screenshot. I want you to do this after the master class. Let's move now to the third one. Okay, I know we're going high speed, but this is so much value. So I hope that you're learning, and I will get to the questions at the end. Third, effective feedback. Okay, are you excited to go into the feedback one? Drop yes in the chat if you are. I want to see your yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. So, effective feedback. Turn difficult conversations into growth. Remember, the feedback, when it's done right, it transforms people, teams, and results. It's not to criticize, it's to transform situations. And there is one specific framework that I love using, and this is especially for more direct profiles. For emotional profiles, there is another technique that I won't show now, but you need to know that there are a lot of frameworks. I love this because it's very objective. Okay, it really works, and when people learn this and they start using it, it starts creating real changes and transformations. So the FIE framework, it basically has three parts: fact, impact, and expectation. Fact is something objective that anybody can observe. Okay, report didn't arrive on Monday. Do you see how this is different from you didn't send me the report on Monday? It is, right? Why? Because report didn't arrive on Monday is objective. Nobody can argue that. Okay? It didn't arrive. You're not saying that this person didn't send it. Okay? Maybe there was an error in the server. Maybe. But very objective. So report didn't arrive on Monday. Then impact. Consequences for your team or your company. This delays sales teams reporting and causes frustration on client side. Okay, impact on your team, on the company, on the legal regulations. And then third, expectation. Super, super important, which is the future desired action. What do you expect this person to do in the future? What do you expect to happen in the future? So report should be uploaded every Monday with all columns populated. Okay, do you see the difference on how effective this is, how objective this is? Let's go to another example. Fact: all the account managers should join the weekly meeting. Impact: because the situation is that this person didn't join the weekly meeting. So all the account managers should join the weekly meeting. Impact: failing to do so affects the project progress and team alignment. Expectation: I expect all the account managers to be there moving forward. And optional, there is a question: is there any reason why you were not joining before? Okay, so you can add the question to make this framework bilateral. Okay, so you actually include the other person. So feedback should transform what happened and the expected results. Good? Now, get ready to take a screenshot. There we go. In this exercise, I want you to think about the situation to provide feedback and write down the fact, the impact, the expectation, and practice delivering in 1 minute. Okay, straightforward, focusing on the problem, not the person. Do it, okay? Do it, really. It's really useful. Then, you have learned, and we're about to finish. So you have learned smart delegation, leadership boundaries, and effective feedback. Now, guys, you have two options. The first one, of course, is applying all of these things from tomorrow for tomorrow onwards, and this is going to make like a big change in your leadership position. I am sure of it. You are able to do it. So take as much knowledge as you can and use it. This is the intention. Or the second one is that we do it together, okay? Because this is what I do. I go with managers, with emerging leaders, and I help them out to improve their leadership and communication skills. So, do I have your permission? I will introduce you to what I do, okay? Because I want you to know a little bit more on my program, on the school that I'm creating, and my program. So, my program is called a Fog Off. Fog Off. With Fog Off, you can lead with clarity and get results without losing control. How? By delegating. Delegating smartly, setting boundaries, mastering communication, and we do all of these in 8 weeks. It's not for everybody, it's only for business owners and first-time managers. And there is an offer, okay, because I will only start working in this cohort with 5 people. So there are only 5 spots available until January the 29th, which is on Thursday. And if you join, of course, this is what we are going to go through, okay? There are 8 modules. We see foundation of leadership. You learn your type. Clarity and mindset, how to set clear boundaries. Communication and confidence, how to communicate effectively, how to be a confident leader. Delegation and accountability, what we have seen, but more hands-on, focus on your real business cases. Delegation and accountability, feedback and difficult conversations, motivation and engagement, both for on-site and remote teams. Guys, so important. How to keep people motivated. Organizational culture and influence, how to create an organizational culture where people actually want to work for you. And finally, the future leader, how to manage change to growth, to grow. I'm giving you 2 bonuses. One of them is the private session with me. This is valued 350 euros, but this is included in the program. And then the bonus 2 is the leadership toolkit as well, with a lot of tools that you can apply right away. And you can also cascade your team. This is valued 300 euros, and it's also included in the program. How can I access to Fog Off? Well, you basically book the interview. Somebody from my team will now drop the link in the chat. So with this link, you need to access, book me a slot, okay? Because as I said, this program is not for everybody, okay? It's only for emerging leaders. It's only for first-time managers and business owners. We really focus on selecting the best individuals for this program, because the idea is not you not only learn from me, you also learn from the people who are in the program. Okay, it's a very closed circle. So in this first call, I need to understand where you are, and we are going more in deep into the program detail by detail, of course, okay, which I can do now. So you can schedule your interview here. Yeah, so Has from my team is going to drop the link in a moment. You can click on it, and then you book the first introductory session, again, to diagnose if you are in the right time to actually join the program. If not, maybe in the future, okay? No problem. If it's not the time, then it's not the time. Okay, so oh, yes, and another gift. Wow, we are very generous today. If you book the call before tomorrow, before Monday at 11 p.m., and you, of course, access to the program, because we are a good match and we are a good fit, then I give you another bonus, which is uh, my AI disc coach Agent. This is a custom GPT that I have created myself. It has my brains on it. It has a lot of literacy. It has a lot of information. So it's trained for to be your coach agent. Okay, it's a very fun, easy to use, a really good tool that will help you out to create as well tailored systems, not only for you, but also for your team based on your personality traits. Okay. So again, if you book before tomorrow, Monday, 11 p.m., then you get as well this bonus. Um, okay, this program includes a 15-day warranty, and I think that I'm not sure if the link is in there in the chat, but my team is going to drop it, so be a little bit patient while I introduce you to this. So the program also includes a 15-day warranty. If you come into the program, you don't like it, you think that it's complete bullshit, then you leave. Okay, I don't have any problems with that. My real intention is that you get value out of it and that you can apply it, and then you talk wonderful things about me, and that's it. So if you don't like it, bye. I won't ask you any questions. So but you will absolutely love it. I know, it's epic. So thank you so much for staying all the way here. Oh my gosh, so sorry we went over time for 6 minutes, but now we're going to go through your questions. So there are a few. Let me go through it. And let's reply questions for 9 minutes that we have until the hour. And the first one is intro with highlights of relatable challenges. Thank you so much for your comments. You are so kind, really. I love it. So, first question. As a team guy, I'm sorry I can't read your name because it's with like codified in YouTube. As a team guide, how we manage the situation, fix things, when there is a chain of command hierarchy approval matrix to follow. Any thoughts? I have so many questions here. I have so many questions. I would love to see more in detail this situation, of course, but let's reply. I will reply based on the things that I assume. Okay, if I'm wrong, then just text me, drop me a message. I will reply. As a team guide, how do we manage a situation when there is a chain of command, hierarchy, approval matrix to follow? Any thoughts? So, look, I will reply from my experience in the corporate, which I had a very, very, very challenging situation once. It was an account that was a complete mess. And as part of our central operations, I was in charge of standardizing all of the processes for all of the clients. And the clients are not the same. Okay, most of the times they have a lot of differences like sub integration, market regulations, article codes, like so many things into the picture. So, how do you do it when there is a hierarchy? Well, can you make the best proposal for change ever and actually justify it so good that your boss can't say no? I mean, processes are the things that are going to keep your business running and forward, and it's very important, but there are also exceptions sometimes. Can you justify this exception? Can you do it? Reply to me, and we're going to follow up on this. Then another thing is that there is most of the times there is room for creative solutions. And if you include people on it, meaning you include them in the thinking process, then you have more chance that this actually is approved and moves forward. So how can you, the question, I will ask you a question. How can you incorporate creative solutions and people into the problem and solution thinking so this actually moves forward and comes from them. Think about that. Okay, next question. I hope I replied. If not, drop me the follow-up question. Um, okay, somebody is saying you're going at optimum speed. Please continue. Yeah, I was going so fast. How can we take the good, relevant aspects of each leadership style for interactions with diverse teams and people across different generations? Boom! So, um, every personality is good. Okay, there are no wrongs, there are no rights in personality traits. Everybody has their own personality traits, and that's good. One size fits all doesn't work. That's bullshit. Okay, if you think that you should uh, be as somebody in your leadership position, forget about it. Okay, don't push yourself in there in that direction. That's bullshit. Um, how can you take the relevant aspects? Look, I find a lot of cases where very creative people are into operational roles, process oriented. I mean, sometimes, not all of the times, sometimes very boring and repetitive. I found cases where the marketing director was moved to operations director. And I said, if you don't give this guy room for creativity or for innovation, or for like new things, short things, like, like boom things, like new things, then he will die. I mean, he won't outperform in his role. Okay, so sometimes, like, think as a leader, think what you can give as well to these personality traits. Sometimes you can select which projects are going to be good for each personality, and you can actually assign these projects to the people. Okay, or you can ask, what would make this project interesting to you? What do you need? So make it both ways. Make it both ways. Okay, the for example, the green profiles, the supportive one, I'll give you an example with me. I am red and yellow. Okay, so very direct, super high achiever, but I'm also like very yellow, like yellow ideas, creativity. Ask has, like literally has. She filters a lot from me because she's more detailed oriented, cautious, metrics, very supportive as well, very empathetic. So green people, for example, are great for intermediaries, negotiating. So if you need somebody who intermediates, bring a supportive profile into the picture. If you need to focus on more data or matrix, then leverage from people like more blue or more cautious in your team. Okay, you need to think strategically about people, about situations, about everything. And then you mentioned as well diverse team and people across different generations. Wow, Gen Z is another topic. I can really do a masterclass on Gen Z. How to give them space, how to create environments where they feel safe, free, creative, etc. So again, it's trial and error, but also introduce questions. Ask, ask your team. Then the team, let's see if there is another one. The link is in there. You can schedule your interview here. I don't see the link, guys. Do you see the link? I don't see it. Okay, so exceptions on a case-on-case basis and or depending on the situations. Yes, of course, there are room for exceptions. Like, not every situation is the same. Not every person is the same. There are so many different scenarios, okay? The most important thing is that you're grounded, you're present, you understand the different personalities, you don't judge, you don't make assumptions, Okay, you don't make assumptions, you actually introduce more questions. So guys, we are about to finish. So what we are going to do now is drop a word. Okay, the main takeaway. What's your main takeaway? Drop me in the chat. Drop me in the chat your main takeaway. Drop it in the chat. Okay, thank you so much for getting all the way here. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's been an hour. And that's it. So thank you so much. I hope that you got a lot of value. Remember, if you want to work together, then we will send you the link over email and also in the WhatsApp group. I hope that you got a lot of value, and please implement it. If you have any other questions, if you want to reach out to me, find me on LinkedIn as Estefania Dadra. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best in becoming epic leaders. Bye bye. Bye, guys. Stay epic. Bye. Bye bye.